Good evening, YouTube family. T.O. here, Simplistic Fishing, back at you tonight to talk to you about Toledo Bend. We're still on this one. We're on episode 4 for the offshore hotspots. If you missed the other lake breakdowns that we did, not the lake breakdowns, but the other breakdowns that we did for Toledo Bend, definitely go check out our site. Go down, look at the playlist for lake breakdowns. You'll see all the Toledo Bends there, plus about, 35, 36 other lakes. I think we're getting pretty close to 40 now. So go check those out. And don't forget, go out and check out simplisticfishing.com to pick up all these waypoints and hotspots for your graphs. Pick them up while they last. All right, let's get started. Here we go. We're going to jump into Toledo Bend. We're starting just a little bit up from the marina that we talked about last time. I think we're actually on the Texas Park and Wildlife Fish Finder number 13. So we're going to start there, and we're going to continue to work our way up on the Texas side, and then we'll work our way back down on the Louisiana side. Let's not delay anymore. Let's get into this. Here we go. If you missed the videos before, we've actually covered all of Toledo Bend way down here, all the way up until we got into this little creek arm right here. And when we got here, we got to this Spring Hill 13. So that's where we're going to start at. So if you missed those other videos where we covered the more the southern part of this, make sure to go check those out. You can find those on the Lake Breakdown playlist that I was talking about earlier. So we're going to start here. I said it was the Fish Finder 13. It was actually just Spring Hill 13, but it's right here. This is where that Texas Park and Wildlife fish attractor site is, and that's where we're going to start at today. That's where we stopped last time. So let's go ahead and start moving up and just point out, the high percentage areas. Again, I can't cover every single hotspot on this lake, but I'll definitely, hopefully, be able to help put you guys on some fish just based on what we're reading here off of the contour map. So the first thing that I want to talk to you guys about really would be right here off the side of this island. So this island's got a pretty shallow top to it, and then it comes up, completely out of the water. But it's got a real nice break right there on the back side of it. So if I back this out, you're going to see where that breaks a lot, quite a bit right there behind that island. So go check that out for sure. As you're coming out here, you've got a pretty good flat here. The top of this is looking pretty good, 5 to 6 feet at the top, and then it's got some really good breaks right here off the side. Looks like right where the boat lane is. So if I'm looking at this flat and I'm thinking, okay, where would they be at if they're not up on top feeding? Where are they going to be at? Where could I locate them at? The main area that I would look at here is probably going to be right in here. And the reason why, let me see if I can click that for you right there. The reason why is because if you notice, there's a creek bed that's coming right through here. And if it comes up and it makes a swing right here, right across the edge of that little point that comes out. So definitely right in here would be a prime spot to go look at and see if you can find some fish in that area. As we move further up, again, some pretty good stuff. Definitely you want to fish the points and things like that, but we're looking for more high percentage type stuff. There's a little road bed back here you could probably check out. I don't believe I saw too much back in here when I was going through it that really stuck out. But again, we've got all these offshore hotspots out there on the site, simplisticfishing.com, so you can go out there and get the rest of get all of the offshore spots that we talked about today. And they're all going to be right there for you, and you can just import them into your graphs. So as we come up here, now we're starting to get into some interesting stuff. We got some pretty good humps that come out, all kinds of good looking stuff. The first place I would look probably is on top of these humps. So look on top of the humps and then look off to the sides of them too. A lot of times they'll be right off to the side or they'll be up on top actually feeding. So you've got a pretty good hump that's right there. If you look right out here off the tip of this one, this big flat that comes out, you'll notice there's a creek bed right here. And you know how I am with creek beds and creek channels. I'm always looking to see where do they touch, what do they come close to? And if they come close to something, obviously I'm going to say that's a hot spot. I mean, that's clearly where you want to be looking. So if we're looking in this area, if you look right off the tip of that point that comes out there, you'll see that the creek bed's right there, and someone actually has a marker there as well. So I would fish right in that area. And then also down here, if we look a little bit further in, you got a really nice break right here. And then you've also got a road bed that's right here beside it as well that you could check out. So some pretty good stuff right there just in that one little area for sure. You got a couple different offshore, 3 or 4 different offshore spots, some road beds, all kinds of good stuff to look at in that area. And then as we move further up here, again, just take a look at this roadbed that's right here. We probably marked that on the Google Earth stuff because we were probably able to see it. But definitely look at those roadbeds, especially when they go in like that into a, like a cove. This is kind of more like a little bay, but or a little pocket. But when they go in like that, a lot of times what they'll do, if you imagine a bass going through its regular spawning, so it comes up in here and it spawns, then it goes to a secondary point, probably right in here or so, and then it's going to come here and probably hang out on this point. Maybe take you guys back. So spawn here, move to here, maybe move to here, and then this may be a stopping spot too. So you really got 3 different stopping spots right here in the back of this little pocket. So if they're out here in the middle of winter, they might be way out here in the creek bed, way out there. But then as they come in for the spring, they're going to start staging up somewhere around in this area. So it's either going to be right here off the edge, or it could be right here on that roadbed. And then they're going to migrate from there and start moving their way back into that pocket. And so these would be the stopping spots based on the contour map that they would go in and stop at. So hopefully that's helping you guys out a little bit. Let's keep moving up here. We're actually in Cary Creek now. As we move up, obviously you want to fish around the bridge here. You've got a creek channel coming right through the center of it. So you can never go wrong when you have that. And then as we move further up here, let's look back in here and see if we see anything. I don't believe we had any marks that were back in here. This is all pretty shallow stuff. But if I was here, if you're looking up in here, let me back this up just a little bit, make it look better. But look right here at this creek bed. All right, so if we're following that creek bed, sorry about that. If we're following that creek bed, it's coming right down through here. And there's some flooded timber that's right here. So if I zoom in right there, you'll notice it says flooded timber. But you'll also notice there's a little point that comes out right there. 7 foot, has a little 3-foot drop that goes right into the creek channel. So I would fish right there in that area, or at least scan right in that area. I think that's going to be a good spot for you guys. All right, so as we move further up, just kind of looking at contours, we get out here, we get a couple more little islands and things, but it's really flat around all this stuff. And I'm not saying you can't go up there and catch fish, but from an offshore standpoint, that's not really offshore. That's just getting up there in the shallows and flipping and stuff like that and having fun, but not really anything that I can mark for you guys here. So I'm going to back this out a little bit. And it says that these are grass beds, but from what I understand, the grass is gone. So don't come up here and thinking that you'll find them up here spawning in these grass beds, because there are no grass beds to be found. So if you do come up here, though, there's a couple good spots out here from an offshore standpoint. The first one would be right here, right in the dead center of the screen. If I zoom into it, you'll notice it's a point that kind of comes all the way out, 8 foot on top, and then has a really good break right in here. So I really like that one. And then I also like the one right beside it, this hump that's right here. That looks good as well. I don't know what this is. I don't know if that's the state line or what that is, but interesting that it's there. It can't be the creek channel because the hump's right there and it comes right across it. So as I move further over here, this is another area where you definitely want to look. So if you look right off the edge right here, 11 foot, and then it goes down into where there's a creek bed. There's a creek bed right here. And it looks like this might even be right on possibly like a boat lane, maybe. Spring Hill boat lane, maybe. I don't know what these Spring Hill things are, but maybe that's what that is. But anyways, check out right there, right off that edge. I think it's going to be good for you. And then, of course, here, this is your main river channel, right, coming through here. So you're going to have a lot of activity anywhere close to that. Maybe not way out there in it. It's 72 feet. But if you get up here, like right here where this hump is, this is perfect spot. I mean, it's right here, really close to really deep water, and it comes up to about 14 feet. And then they can get up in here and spawn in this area as well. So this right here would be a really good area to check out. This whole area right in here, even over here off to the side. Look in those areas. Those are going to be good areas for you, being so close to the creek channel or to the river channel. As we move further up here, looking around at this stuff, again, real big creek channel here. So, of course, anything you can find that comes out and touches that's going to be your prime spots. And it just so happens that there's a mark on each one of those. So there's one right here. There's one right here. You could even go right here as well. This one's a little bit more defined. Comes right off of 9 foot and just drops straight down right into to the river channel. And they've also got another one that's up here as well. So all of those right there, you've really got 4 spots. You've got one there, one right here, one right here, and then one right here. Those 4 spots, I can almost guarantee you could find some fish on those at some point in time. There's got to be fish in that area. Those are really good looking points that come out and touch that river channel. As we get further back in here, not seeing too much, but I do want to point out that these docks back here are really pretty deep. This one's like 16, 17 feet deep. It's kind of dug out right there by those two docks. So check out those two docks, this one and this one. They have pretty good break behind them as well, which make them look really interesting. As we move up here, you can also check out here off the edge of this point. It's got about 8 feet, but then it goes in and comes pretty close to where the riverbed turns. And then right here, you've got that point that comes right off the edge of it. So definitely go check that spot out for sure. As we move further up here, just kind of looking around, a couple different things that really stick out to me. One is right here. You've got a little 8-foot flat that comes out and then drops down to 20 feet. And then you've also got additional drop that's right out here. And then if we move up here, we've got a pretty decent little hump that's out here. You can see it's only like 2 foot, so it's really shallow, but you've got really good breaks that are right here. So real good break right in there. And then of course, just really all along here, you've got some really good breaks. You got breaks that's all along here. So you can definitely look at this whole area right in here and just see what you could find off of that ledge. And if you can't find out that ledge, you could always come in here. This looks pretty interesting too. You've got a roadbed right here that comes right between those two, those 2 points that stick out right there, so that you can see that roadbed's right in that area. All kinds of good stuff up in here, guys. This river channel really makes things interesting. You've got another good spot that's way out here off of the point too, so you can go check that out. And then if we're looking at this, let me just point this out to you. If we're looking at this and we're looking at this creek bed, just kind of seeing what looks interesting here, because this all looks good, right? It's these huge flats, these tons of fun to fish. But right here, off the tip of this creek bed comes right up against the tip of that. So definitely right in here, I would go take a look at right there in that area there. Looks really good. All right, so backing out, again, we're kind of seeing the same thing, right? This is really shallow, shallow stuff right up here on these flat tops. And there's probably all kinds of weeds and brush and stuff like that you could flip around. But really what you're looking for, if you're offshore, you want to kind of pull off that. So you want to look off the edges of that stuff. So right here, again, is another good area. You can see you've got a really good river bend coming right here, river swing, channel swing, whatever you want to call it. But right here, making a really good bend, and then right off the edge of that point. So you know that's going to be a good spot right in there. As we move up here, you got the same thing over here. You got a flat with a really sharp drop. So right where that fish is. And then if I was here, I would look in a couple other places as well. I'd probably come back here and look at this little sharp drop that's right here. You can see that was really defined, really dark. And then also over here, this one has a little bit of a drop too. So you kind of got this little deep area right in here, surrounded by 2 really shallow points. So kind of a nice little pinch point right there in that area. All right, as we move further up here, again, lots of vegetation, so not too much, that we can show from an offshore standpoint. But as we move up here and we just kind of look at the things that are out a little bit deeper, we've got a really good spot that's right out here off the tip of this, right where this fish is. So if I click right here, I'm gonna pull this over and show it to you guys. Right here where that fish is, you got the creek bed that's coming through here. So here's your creek bed. And then right there off the edge of that, that's 26 feet off the top of that, but it's coming right off the edge into that river channel. So that looks really good. And then if they weren't there, maybe just pull up. You've got a couple different ledges here. You got 8 foot, you got a 10-foot top, an 8-foot top, and then a 15-foot top as well. So you got lots of different things to look at in that area. And then just follow that creek bed back and see if that creek bed touches anywhere else. If it does, those are going to be the high percentage areas that you want to look at. Back here, you've got a submerged culvert you can take a look at. You got some road beds back here as well. And you can see all these different fish icons. This looks like almost like a secondary point. There's not much there, but if there's an icon there, you probably want to take a look at it. So as we move out here, we already talked about this point. Let's keep moving north. And the next thing we're going to see is just very similar to what we saw before. There's a couple different areas here. This one's going to be right in here. You got a really good point that comes out, dropping off really close to the river channel. Again, on this side, you got the same thing. And then look how dark these lines are right here. That means you've got a major break going on right there in that area. So look in here. This can be a real good area to look at, especially come fall and winter, when they start pulling out a little bit further off. You can definitely probably find them out here hanging out. Also over here off the tip of this point looks really good too. You can see there's already an icon there. Those are all just high percentage spots because of that river channel. All right, so as we move over here, I'm going to zoom back a little bit, show you guys where I'm at. We're actually getting into, where are we at here now? We're in Patroon Bay, I guess that's how you say it. So we're going to start working our way up there and see how far up there we can get before we run out of time. But we're going to keep moving back. This looks good right over here where you've got this roadbed. So you can see here, we've got a roadbed here. Nice little, someone's already put a mark there, so it could be a rock pile or something like that there. So go check that out. And then you can check out any of these spots where these points come out and make these sharp drops. You want to check those out for sure. I don't see anything too crazy back in here that's really catching my attention, except for this right here. The Submerged Bridge says it's in 30 foot of water. At least, that's what the depth is, but that bridge may only be in, 15, 20 foot of water. So definitely go look and see if you can find that submerged bridge. I've had a lot of success fishing around submerged bridges with spoons and A-rigs. So definitely go check it out, give it a try. I think you'll be surprised at what you'll be able to pick up off those bridges. Coming back in here, nice little area right in here, kind of like this. Not really offshore, but got a little hump that comes in here and then a pretty good break back in here. As we move further down here, I'm not going to see not too much back here. This is all pretty shallow, 10 foot. Not saying you can't find some offshore stuff back there, but I don't see anything too crazy except for maybe right here. If you look right here, we've got a little bit of a flat that comes out, makes a point right here, right, and it touches that creek bed right there. So take a look right in that area. That would be probably the high percentage area, at least in that one little pocket there. You've also got a pretty decent one right here. Little point that comes out really close to this creek bed. I don't think we're going to see too much until we get further up here. Looking at these road beds, don't forget to check them out. Always look at these road beds, see if you can find things on these road beds. You'll be amazed at how many fish are attracted to these road beds. If you look at this one comes up the side of this island right here. So you got this road bed that comes right up the side of the island, and then on the other side of the island, you've got a creek channel swing or a river channel swing that comes up and actually bangs up against this little island right here. So the back side of this island, and if you got the right wind, that could be a great place to go find some fish. So anywhere right in here, there's a roadbed there as well. I can see that being a really good spot. So moving back here, just kind of following this main creek bed that's over here. I called it a river channel earlier, but I forgot I was back here in the creek bed now. We've also got a little spot right in here. And then right here, off this point, that looks really good. And then we're just following it back and we're seeing if we see anything else that's looking pretty good. Definitely, I would fish these docks. Look at these docks. They have some major breaks here. I don't know if it's going to let me zoom in too much here, but these docks are probably going to be your deeper docks in this whole area. So go check out those docks. And even really just that whole little ledge right there just looks pretty interesting. As we move further over here, these docks right here look good too. This dock is actually at the intersection of two different creeks. So you got a creek bed coming in here, and then you have your main creek bed that's over here as well. And the intersection is right there by that dock. So go check that dock out, see what you can find in there. Moving back to this pocket, you want to check out that point, of course, because it's got a fish on it, right? You want to look at that. And then moving back in here, not seeing anything too crazy that I want to point out to you guys. So let's go back up here. Good dock again, creek bed really close to that dock. You want to go check that out. This one's probably worth checking out too. Both those docks are going to be good areas to look at. Let's go up here into this Mason Creek and see if we see anything up here. Definitely want to fish this point. So right in here, you got a nice creek bed and a real good point that's right there. So if I zoom in a little bit, you'll see it. Got a really decent little point right here, but creek bed right there off the edge of it. Those are always good areas to take a look at. You've also got a submerged culvert you could take a look at back here with the road bed. So you could go back in there and look at that. And then as we move further back here, I think it gets pretty shallow, but you definitely want to look at these docks too. This dock especially, this one right here, is going to be your primo dock. All right, so we're going to move up. Again, it says we got flooded timber up here. We got a big flat up here. So there's not going to be too much from offshore standpoint I can show you guys here, but just pay attention to these creek beds and see if they produce anything for you. Because a lot of times they'll kind of give away your spots. And to me, when there's a creek bed involved, it makes it really easy to be able to go back and find your hot spots for sure. So getting out here, still pretty deep, 20, 25 feet. You can definitely come out here and look at these bins and things and see if you can find anything. I don't think I put any points out there for you guys on those, but definitely you could go ahead and look at each place where those make sharp turns. You can go and look at those areas and see if you can find anything there. So I'm not seeing anything yet, but I would come over here and fish this bridge for sure in the middle of the main creek channel. Definitely going to go and fish that thing without a doubt. Plus, you've got the road beds that are near it as well, of course, that are always there. So go check those out. And then moving back in here, I'm going to zoom back a little bit because I don't think there's much I can show you guys that's back in here. But I would at least look on all these turns. I don't really know what else to tell you guys there other than look at all these bends and turns. Get back up in here and just have fun. I mean, this looks like total fun back in here. And sorry, my internet's going a little bit slow tonight as well, so it's not able to keep up with me. So let's go ahead and pull back out of here because that's just a huge flat that's out there. Let's get back out here into the main lake. And when we come off this point, we've got a road bed that comes down right here. You can see it coming right through here. And you've got some pretty good ledges that are over here. You got a pretty good ledge right here. You've got another good one that's right inside of here. And then you've even got a little point that comes out right here as well. So a couple different areas. I would probably just scan this whole area right in here and just see if you can locate the bait fish. And then you're probably going to, when you do that, you're probably going to be able to find out where the bass are hanging around. I'm going to move further up here. We've got this road bed. Not too much going on up here. You definitely want to look right here. See where that little point comes off? Let me pull that down for you guys. Noel's Fishing World is what it says. I don't know what that is, but right there off the edge of that little point looks really good. So go check that out. This point looks good too. Got a road bed back here you can go check out. And then when we get back up here, we're going to get back into this main river arm. And I think we're probably going to be able to at least get up there and get pretty close to having the Texas side done here. So let's go ahead and follow this river channel up. Obviously, there's not a lot I can show you from offshore here. This is getting some really, really deep stuff, kind of out of my wheelhouse. But obviously, fishing anything around these main river arms are going to be good areas to fish, even if you're up here fishing around the bank line. So if we get further up here, you may want to check out up here. This is kind of just off the main river arm, so that no current right in here, maybe just a little bit of current, but I could see them setting up right on the edge of that point. So take a look at that point. Definitely fish that dog. And see if I see anything else up here. I think we're getting into, we're still decent depth, 20 foot, 60 foot. Flooded timber, but just not a lot going on from a contour perspective. So I'm going to pull this back because I don't want to make you guys too dizzy. Just go up here. If you're fishing in this area, you definitely want to go up and look at all these little points. So anywhere you have these little points, one's there, got one here, another one here. Those are going to be the spots you want to look at. And then also right here, this all up in here, this flooded timber right in here, that could be good. I can see that being really good. And then also, if you didn't want to fish the flooded timber, just come out and fish maybe just off the sides of it. That might be a little bit too deep, but go check it out and see. It might not be too bad. And then as you get up in here, you've got more flooded timber off here in this area. And then, of course, the river arm coming through there. Got a couple more points you could check out. Right there and right there. I think got one more pocket. This one, we're going to be able to find something in. I got a good feeling. All right, so we definitely do here. So right here, right off the edge of this point, this looks really good. Let me pull this up for you guys because I really like this. We kind of hit a dud there when we were going on the main river arm, but now that we come out, I mean, right here, that's a good area right there. This area right in here too as well. Look at the breaks that are in this area. Look how dark that is. That's really, really good right in there. Real sharp drops right there on the creek channel swing. All looks really good right there in that spot. And then as you come out here, you got a nice little point that comes out. 10 foot, nice flat on top, so they can get up there and feed and all that good stuff. And then they can come out here and hang out really close to that creek channel. So I like that point as well. You've also got some submerged bridges back here. One here. Sorry, this one's a culvert. Thought it was a bridge. And then you might want to go up here and fish around this point too. This point's got a really good break right in this area. You can see it right there. Then moving back in here, we're just following that little, following that creek bed right in here. Looks juicy. Man, this whole area right here, just this whole turn. I could see that all that area being really good. Even I could see him getting up in here as well. So for sure, take a look right in that area. Then as we get further up, we're getting into some shallower water. So let's back out of here. Let's go up this little creek arm and just look real quick and make sure we're not missing anything up here. Some possible offshore pop, maybe right in there, right off that point, because you've got that creek bed that swings up against it. So maybe take a look right there. You could also take a look right here in this area where the creek bed swings up against it again. And then we talked about this point too. So moving out here, check this out right here. Don't know what in the world that is, but that is probably one of the most interesting things I've seen on a contour map. But definitely go check that out right there. This bridge is in 50 something foot of water, but maybe go check it out. Maybe it's not that deep and you can actually fish it. And then as we get further up here, I think we're getting into too shallow stuff. Maybe we can get back in here. Let's look real quick. Oh yeah, we still got some good stuff back in here. So we're gonna move up here. We're in Britton Creek now. We've got a submerged bridge that's right in here. We've got a good point that's over here as well. Right here where you see that creek bed swinging up against the point. We've also got another good one right in here. Again, swinging right up against the bank line there. That one looks good. You know, there's a couple decent little things back in here. I mean, this whole spot right in here where this creek channel swings up against this flat, that can have some really good potential as well. And then really just kind of following it back, you've got some really sharp drops. You got really sharp drops in here. You got another good little bank line with a sharp drop where the creek bed hits it right there. You got a creek channel that comes down here. You can see it kind of coming off here. And then something's going on back in here. You got some really deep area for some reason, like almost like it's dug out right in here, like a little ditch that's right in here. But right there on that point would definitely be something that I would want to go check out, see if you can find anything right in there. Right, so that kind of covers us for Britton Creek. Other than that, I don't see too much I can really point out to you guys. Obviously, take a look at all these road beds and things like that, especially if you're into the offshore thing. And then moving up here, I think we're getting in some pretty flooded timber and stuff like that. But look at all the bridges that are up here. You got if you were on that bridge pattern, and these bridges aren't too bad, 25, 35 foot of water. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4 different bridges right here, right off the edge of that point, right there around that creek channel. I mean, that's just awesome. I love how that sets up. This would definitely be a good area for you to go take a look at right in this area, especially if you like fishing offshore. I could see that being a great spot for you. Moving up here, not seeing anything too much to point out to you guys. Just, always look at those bank lines right there and right here. Those are going to be prime spots. And I think that pretty much covers us in that area. Let's move up. Got some flooded timber in here you could go check out. I don't understand what these ragtown things is, but this must be their boat lanes, which is really super cool. Wish we had a big enough lake to have those kind of boat lanes. These 2 little points right in here, they look pretty decent as well. And then moving back, let's see if the internet can keep up with me. Mainly just the old river channel here, and then we're getting into just a massive flat. I'm not seeing any contours or anything that would be worthy of pointing out any offshore stuff. It looks like it just got a hot mess going on up in here. So that pretty much covers us for the Texas side. I don't think we can get any further up here and actually get any contours is the problem. So there's just not too much that I can show you. Might be able to get in here and see, but even in here, the contours is just a huge flat, and you're just going to be fishing that creek channel. Just focus on the creek channel, and that's where you're going to need to be, especially on the bends and the turns, and obviously the points where those touch. That's going to be your hot spots. You got some pretty little islands out here as well, a couple of them. Right in here, you can go look where swings around those islands. That could be interesting. Also, right here at this point could be interesting as well. So you can go check those out. Looks like it's fairly close to a boat lane too, so you can get back there pretty easily. And then we're up here at Hux Bay Marina. Again, guys, getting in here, just not too much I could show you, other than say, hey, fish around those creek beds, but getting pretty flat from a contour perspective up in here. Definitely right here, guys. Right here off this little point that comes out. That looks juicy. Also right in here, looks like it could have some potential as well. And then getting back in here to Huxler Bay. See if they show me anything. I don't believe I put any marks up here for you guys on the card either, because I don't think I was able to really pick anything up once I got too far up here. That's why I keep getting scared that I'm going to go too far up, and I think I have. So that pretty much, I'm going to end it right there. I mean, obviously you can come out here and look at these bridges and stuff, but I don't know if I was up here, if I would do all that. There's just not, from an offshore standpoint, I don't see too much up here, but you could come out here and fish these road beds, right? Find those road beds and find those bridges and culverts and things like that. And that might definitely help you. Now, as we're getting further up here, it's starting to show me some stuff. So let's see if it's actually going to be friendly to us. If I'm up here, and I don't know why the contours aren't showing, they're only showing in like certain sections. I have no idea why. But if I'm up here, we actually have some contours up here that I'm going to say right in here off this point. This looks good. You got a creek bed that's out here as well. So you go look at that. Also look at all these different road beds that are over here. Again, these culverts, things like that. You want to look at those. And I'm going to end it right there, guys, because it's not giving me really anything accurate to show you guys. But that pretty much covers us for the Texas side. So we covered the whole entire Texas, basically the whole Texas side. The next videos, when we go into episode 5, we're going to start working our way back down the Louisiana side. So anyways, guys, I hope this is helping you a ton. Don't forget, go out, check out our site, simplisticfishing.com. We put the offshore hotspots, plus the Google Earth waypoints, plus the Texas Park and Wildlife fish attractors. We put them all together onto a card for you guys for your graphs. So go check that out. And until next time, guys, I hope you catch your PB. Take care.